I think it looks like they've gone from one side of the road to the other pretty much.
Certainly very big contact in the bodywork that was on that, but it's the left front wheel.
Look in the background, under safety car, we've
Japan.
got a car rolling over on the main straight.
In fact, there we are, just right below us. That car has gone. This is what happens in these. Well, look at the bodywork. You can see the car upside down, and all of a sudden, panic here on pit lane in Monterey. Why or how that occurred? Hayanari, is it?
It's Hayanari Shimoda.
Yes, it is. It is Team
Japan. The second time he's been upside down, John. Remember the accident he had in Australia?
We certainly do. That was the most enormous accident. But how that car got in that context, again, you're running in a line of cars, you're running relatively slowly. What happens? Drivers tend to accelerate and brake and accelerate and brake. That's to try and maintain tire temperature. And that probably was one of those circumstances where maybe Japan was accelerating at the same time the car he was directly ahead of, started to brake, so the two come together.
Well, drama indeed here in the first race of the day. We've only had one racing lap. We had a safety car come out because of an incident involving Mexico and Team Ireland.
Japan
and now
was running behind Brazil, so he must have gone over the back of Christian Fittipaldi and Team Brazil.
He certainly went over the back of somebody. I suddenly saw the car rear up. The whole group came out of that final corner, and as you say, I think they must have been accelerating, braking, and the next thing, suddenly the Japanese car just shot up in the air out of the middle of the pack, rolled over, and I wonder how much damage it's done to other cars.
Well,
the World Rally Championship's back. Sebastian Loeb.
Well, this Mexican round of A1 Grand Prix has certainly started in pretty dramatic fashion. We've seen an incident that we didn't quite spot between Mexico and Team Ireland. I'm just watching, actually New Zealand's just going down the pit lane with its rear light trailing. They may well have been hit by this car of Japan. Have a look, John. This is what happened as they came out of that final corner. It all got a bit bunched up.
Well, you see there's Brazil. It must have been New Zealand, in fact. In fact, he clambered all over New Zealand. Somehow or other, he, on the previous lap on timing and scoring, should have been directly behind Brazil, but it appears that he was actually directly behind New Zealand, and it clambered all over the back from what we can see in that replay. There's the gap that appeared. Let's look at it again from a different perspective. Well, yes, it must have been New Zealand's car, but look how many times that's going over, 2.5, 3 times?
That's incredible when you think at the speeds that they were doing. They're doing 80 miles, not even that, 60 miles an hour down there?
Less, I would say, maybe 40. But of course, once the momentum goes, if you are the car in the case of Japan, and we suspect that he may have been on full throttle for a brief period in time, he could go from 40 mile an hour to 60 or 70 miles an hour in the blink of an eye. There's the rear view shot, and still it has to be New Zealand. Incredible how much energy was in that roll, despite them being behind the safety car as they came down the straight there. And it was a huge shock to the system, not only for Hayanari Shimoda, but what must Matt Halliday have thought? I mean, the worst thing is you're driving along quite comfortably, you think a bit of a nudge and a bump, and all of a sudden you've got, 500 kilograms of racing car just inches above your head. There is Matt Halliday's Team New Zealand entry back into the garage, back into the pit lane. And is Matt Halliday out of the car? I think he is.
Yeah, I think so. But it must have done a fair old bit of damage to the back end of that car. I guess they're just going to have to try and get it ready for the feature race later on. Real drama.